Psychic link with the door for one very obvious reason. Notoriously cross.
Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. Before I start talking about episode 11, I just want to ask you, yes you, not the person next to you, not the person who you think's downloaded this, no, actually you, a question. I've got a Patreon account. People are donating very small amounts, and that's a good thing. That's what I want. I want a little bit of everyone, not massive amounts. Just a tiny little bit, just to keep the Tin Dog podcast going. But this Patreon account asks me about Patreon goals. Now yes, everyone who donates, regardless of amount, gets thanked personally by name. That's a good thing. But what I need is to know what you, dear, wonderful, heartfelt listener, actually want as a goal. Do you want me to do a certain Doctor Who or even sci-fi related thing? Is there a TV series that you wanted me to cover or review, a film or something like that? What should I have as my goals? Simply email me and tell me what you think. In a few weeks' time, it's also going to be Christmas, and I've got a competition coming. This competition is... let's announce it now. And yes, for those of you who are paying attention, the Blake 7 competition will be dealt with as soon as this series of Doctor Who is finished. Everyone who emailed me with thoughts of why they should own Series 1 of Blake 7 will be dealt with and read out, filtered, filed, indexed, briefed, debriefed. No, that's the prisoner. Either way, I will sort that competition and there will be a winner. But this prize, dear listener, is a Blu-ray multi-disc set, limited edition, numbered, of all 10 of the Doctor Who Christmas specials. As I said, this is a limited edition numbered thing, and the BBC have sent me this wonderful box set to review, and I'm going to give it to you as a prize before Christmas. You've got until the 15th of December to enter this competition and to win it. So what do you have to do? Simple enough. Tell me, who is the hybrid in this series of Doctor Who? Who or what is the hybrid? Yes, you can enter a competition without knowing 100% certain who the actual hybrid is. So you can either wait until after you've found out in the episodes, or you can have a wild guess and a wild stab and try and make me laugh. So yeah, that's the competition question. Who or what is the hybrid in Doctor Who? Simply email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk and tell me the answer, and I'll send you a fantastic Blu-ray set. I'll even pay the postage for you. Oh, and I just want to say that there's a fairly new podcast out there that I just wanted to attract your attention to. The Terminus podcast. Like me, an individual host, but unlike me, American and female, with a whole different take on Doctor Who. If you like me as a solo host, or you like the Verity podcast as a female perspective, that's the place to go. Find it on iTunes, just find it somewhere. It's well worth a listen. So while you're thinking about all that, let's have a review of Doctor Who.
You will notice a second shadow next to yours. Your life will then be over.
Welcome to the review of episode 11 of this series, the 2015 episodes of Doctor Who. I'm not completely sure what to say about this episode. Yes, sterling performance from Capaldi. Absolutely spotless, immaculate. It's the sort of thing that people spot and go, yes, this man deserves an award. An entire almost an hour with him and the back of Clara's head was it just me, or were you expecting it to turn around and just be hair, or have no face, or, I don't know, have something else going on? It was just sinister. But that's beside the point. This is the sort of thing that wins awards. This is the sort of thing that would have been an absolute nightmare to write. This is the sort of thing that had me going, haven't Big Finish done this at least 3 times? But let's not go there. Obviously, if you're interested in that sort of thing, there's always Shazero or even Chimes of Midnight, if you want that sort of thing. Yes, there are echoes of other texts. Maze Runner was the first thing that sprang to mind. And of course, it's nice to see the Witch Kings from Lord of the Rings / the Ghost of Christmas Past / the Dementors getting work. You know, hooded characters really do need employment, and it's nice to have them hanging around these days even more. I'd like to say that I did watch The Muppets Christmas Carol this week, and it was nice to see that exactly the same character was seen in that as the Ghost of Christmas Past. But of course that's what this is about. It's about being trapped in memory. Is the Doctor now 2 billion years old? Can he remember all of those things? He says he can, but of course he can't. Is he trapped in a world that keeps resetting itself, a closed power unit? You know, one of those physically impossible things. But of course they are Time Lords. You have to let them off. But everyone's just going to be talking about the payoff at the end. Oh look, he's back on Gallifrey. Gallifrey's back. Yeah, that's the sort of thing we'll all be discussing. We'll skate over all of the business with the fact that he ends up wearing the previous incarnation's clothes, and were the clothes in the first place there, or were they waiting for him in the first time, not the 7,000 years in that we get to experience this time? Yes, there'll be people out there going on and on about how that last ending sequence just before he broke through the diamond wall, how that was just mind-numbing, how it was just laying it on so thick and repeating and repeating and repeating, so much so that you were just kind of, yeah, Mr. Moffat, we get it, it's a point made, you're now labouring it, stop it. But that was the point. The point was, this has been going on time and time and time again. He hasn't time travelled, he's just been reborn and does exactly the same things. Ha! I bet you never expected me to do that. And of course the Dementor, the Wraith thing, goes, yeah, you did that the last 7,000 times? Yes, he gets 82 minutes to do the same things and to rest and to plan and all that business and to try and find room 12. But, yeah, so what? So yes, there's the Maze Runner aspect where everything's changing and it's all clockwork and it's rotating, and it's not a problem, is it? It's really not. And yeah, in many respects, you know, the confession dial is just a mini-scope where everything gets repeated time and time again. But that's us being picky, that's the pointlessness of us as fans, because this was glorious. Everything you need to know about the episode is laid down on paper in the first 15 seconds. That opening speech, that dark and foreboding, almost poetry, is the plot. It tells you everything you need to know, and absolutely everything that you need, that you learn from this story is there. And you know it all at the beginning, you know it going in, and it still manages to surprise you. Yes, and make you jump. And yes, the Doctor being locked by himself is the sort of thing that Big Finish does perfectly. It's great. I can't tell you how impressed I was, but it left me feeling slightly hollow, and I can't for the life of me work out why. Perhaps it's tiny things like him saying that leaving Gallifrey because he was bored was always a lie, making the last 50 years a lie, making the 5 Doctors gag at the end a lie. Not quite sure, but you've got to keep milking it. You've got to keep going back to the original source material and taking it and twisting it and turning it into something new, and that's what they do. So let's let that one lie, shall we? Yes, when you watch it the second time, it just gets better because you know what's coming and you can look for all of the little clues and the little moments. And you know what I love about this? The story about the bird isn't explained. It's gone back to BBC principles where you have to look it up yourself, and I'm going to let you do that. My original intention was to find it in my books and read it out to you, but you know what? I'm going to let you do that for yourself. It's going to make you entertain and educate yourself, because this story has done its work. It's piqued your interest, it's made you go, yeah, I will look that up one day. and it's there, and that's fine. So yes, it wasn't just a one-hander, there was a random child at the end, and of course Clara did turn round and say, I'm sorry, but you've still got to get on with it. And the little doctor's tantrum as he was going through the stages of grief as he realises he had to die again. Yeah, I'm not even going to say that this current Capaldi is the 4 billion million trillionth incarnation, because that's just not going to work. It's still the Capaldi Doctor. So, was Gallifrey always inside the disc, or is that just the gateway into it? Or is it something different? Can you break a diamond by punching it? I'll never truly know.
The hybrid is not half Dalek. Nothing is half Dalek. The Daleks would never allow that. The hybrid, destined to conquer Gallifrey and stand in its ruins. Is me.
So, I was right. I'm doing the little I was right dance. You can see it. My legs are moving like, well, a moving leg thing. The Doctor was the hybrid. The fact that he's half human is probably the last thing that Mr. Moffat gets to mine before he moves on. He gets to set the record straight, to fix the past, to make things right with the world, and that, for me, is what's happening. I haven't seen episode 12, so I don't really know, but it is the only way that he could be a hybrid, and could always have been a hybrid, and could always have known that his was part of the destiny. Now, answer me this. When the first Doctor... I know the real answer to the question, okay, but think about it from an in-TV point of view. The Daleks. The Daleks, before the Doctor goes to Skaro in the first story, are unknown to him. But they're not unknown to him, because the Time Lords have always known. So perhaps in a certain timeline, the Daleks never left Skaro. They never became this evil, dominant race. They never, ever became monsters until the Doctor leaves Gallifrey and starts the whole thing off. It's his fault. That's why the Time Lords suddenly know, and they suddenly know everything. There isn't going to be a Dalek Time Lord hybrid. There's going to be something brought about by a hybrid that will bring about the Daleks. Perhaps all this is merely conjecture, and I promise you I've not seen the next episode, so this could be nonsense. But it's my nonsense, and let me have it. So yes, the fact that it's room 12 should be a giveaway, although shouldn't it be room, 1A? Because this is a whole new cycle of regenerations. It's the clerical error. You can't really say it's in the clerical error room. I don't really know what else to say. Yes, there are cogs smashing to the floor when he finally breaks through, reminiscent of the opening's titles, but they're all just artistic choices. Did this emotionally affect me? Yes, it did. Did this make me want to watch so much the next episode because of that last closing scene? Yes. Will I be watching this again? Probably not before I've watched, the Viking story. Could this be seen as padding by a cynic? Perhaps not by me. And so I'll fade away and let you judge for yourself, and go away and watch it for yourself, because that's what really matters, is how Doctor Who affects you and how much you enjoyed the story. Not some bloke on the other end of a microphone. My opinion matters not one jot. Oh, remember to enter the competition. All you have to do is tell me who the hybrid was. It's not difficult. Well, not now, anyway. So until next time, be seeing you. You've been listening to the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast. Available on RSS, iTunes, Audioboom, Tumblr, and wherever podcasts are found. Why not become a supporter of the show by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Doctor Who and its associated properties are copyright of the BBC and no infringement is intended. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.